Welcome to Learning Life Content. Please like, share, comment and subscribe. Your support helps us grow and motivates us to bring you more fascinating and enriching stories. In 1258, a cataclysmic event shook the very foundations of the Islamic world. The Mongol army, led by Hulagu Khan, a grandson of Genghis Khan, laid siege to Baghdad, the illustrious capital of the Abbasid Caliphate. For centuries, Baghdad had stood as a beacon of knowledge, culture and prosperity. It was a city of immense wealth, dazzling architecture and unparalleled scholarship. The Mongols, known for their ruthlessness and military prowess, were on a relentless march of conquest, and Baghdad stood in their path. The fall of Baghdad marked a turning point in history, not only for the Islamic world, but for the wider Eurasian continent. The city's population faced unimaginable horrors, with countless lives lost and a rich cultural heritage nearly obliterated. The impact of this event resonated through the ages, altering the course of history forever. Before the Mongol onslaught, Baghdad was a city at the zenith of its glory. Under the Abbasid Caliphate, it had blossomed into a global centre of learning, commerce and culture. Scholars, artists and merchants from across the known world flocked to Baghdad. Drawn by its reputation as a place of unparalleled opportunity and intellectual ferment, the city's streets were lined with bustling bazaars, majestic mosques and grand libraries. The House of Wisdom, Baghdad's most renowned institution of learning, housed countless manuscripts on mathematics, astronomy, medicine and philosophy, attracting some of the brightest minds of the age. Baghdad was not just a city, it was an idea, a testament to the power of human ingenuity and the boundless potential of knowledge. The Abbasid Caliphate, centered in Baghdad, presided over a vast empire that stretched from North Africa to Central Asia. This empire was a melting pot of cultures and religions, all connected by the Arabic language and a shared Islamic faith. Trade flourished along the Silk Roads, bringing untold wealth and exotic goods to Baghdad. The city's prosperity was reflected in its opulent palaces, intricate gardens and the cosmopolitan nature of its inhabitants. Baghdad in the 13th century was a city where ideas were exchanged as freely as goods, where innovation thrived and where the pursuit of knowledge was paramount. Notable scholars like Al-Khwarizmi, the father of algebra, Ibn Sina, whose medical texts were used for centuries, and Al-Razi, a pioneer in chemistry, made groundbreaking contributions that shaped the future of science. Baghdad's advancements in astronomy were unparalleled, with observatories that mapped the stars and scholars who developed sophisticated astronomical instruments. The city was also a cultural hub, where poets like Al-Mutanabbi recited their verses, musicians performed, and artists created intricate designs that adorned the city's architecture. The translation movement in Baghdad saw the works of Greek philosophers and scientists translated into Arabic, preserving and expanding upon the knowledge of antiquity. This vibrant exchange of ideas and cultures made Baghdad a beacon of knowledge and a testament to the heights of human achievement. The Mongol siege of Baghdad in 1258 was an event of unimaginable brutality and destruction. Hulagu Khan, leading a vast and well-disciplined army, arrived at the gates of Baghdad in January of that year. The Abbasid Caliph, Al-Mustasim, had received warnings of the impending Mongol invasion, but had failed to adequately prepare for the onslaught. Overconfident in the strength of Baghdad's walls and the size of his army, the Caliph underestimated the Mongols' military prowess and their unwavering determination. What followed was a siege that would live in infamy. The Mongols, masters of siege warfare, employed a combination of military tactics and psychological warfare to break the city's defences. They used catapults to hurl stones and incendiary devices over the city walls, setting buildings ablaze and spreading terror among the populace. Tunnels were dug beneath the city walls, and attempts were made to divert the course of the Tigris River to flood the city. The Mongols also used psychological tactics, spreading rumours and misinformation to demoralise the defenders and sow discord within the city walls. After a week-long bombardment, the Mongols breached Baghdad's defences and the city fell on February 10, 1258. The defenders of Baghdad fought valiantly, engaging in fierce combat with the Mongol invaders. Despite their bravery, they were overwhelmed by the sheer numbers and superior tactics of the Mongol forces. Inside the city, chaos reigned as citizens panicked and families sought refuge from the relentless assault. The once thriving metropolis was reduced to a scene of horror and despair. The aftermath of the siege saw the Mongols looting and burning buildings, destroying invaluable manuscripts and cultural treasures, and leaving a trail of devastation in their wake. Survivors mourned the loss of their loved ones and the destruction of their city, as the once great Baghdad lay in ruins, a testament to the ferocity of the Mongol conquest. Section 4. The aftermath, the end of an era. The Mongol sack of Baghdad was a cataclysm that sent shockwaves throughout the Islamic world and beyond. For a week, Hulagu Khan's army unleashed a reign of terror upon the city. Libraries were looted and burned, their priceless contents tossed into the Tigris River, turning its waters black with ink. Palaces and mosques were reduced to rubble. The streets of Baghdad, once teeming with life, were littered with the dead. The Caliph al-Mustasim was captured and executed, bringing an end to the Abbasid Caliphate, which had ruled from Baghdad for over 5 centuries. The Fall of Baghdad marked a turning point in Islamic history. It shattered the illusion of the Islamic world's invincibility and plunged the region into a period of political fragmentation and intellectual stagnation. The destruction of Baghdad's libraries and the massacre of its scholars resulted in an immeasurable loss of knowledge and cultural heritage. The Mongols' brutal conquest also had a profound psychological impact on the Islamic world, leading to a sense of loss, humiliation, and uncertainty about the future. The aftermath of the siege saw the once unified Abbasid Caliphate crumble into smaller, fragmented states, each vying for power and control. The intellectual decline was stark, as the loss of scholars and manuscripts meant that centuries of accumulated knowledge were irretrievably lost. Economically, the region suffered as trade routes were disrupted, and the once thriving city of Baghdad became a shadow of its former self. Politically, the power vacuum left by the fall of the Abbasid Caliphate led to centuries of instability and conflict, as various factions and foreign powers sought to fill the void. The psychological impact on the people of the region was profound, as the sense of security and cultural pride that had been associated with Baghdad was shattered. The long-term consequences of the Mongol conquest of Baghdad were felt for generations, as the region struggled to recover from the devastation and loss of its cultural and intellectual heritage. Section 5. A World Unconquered. Imagining an alternate history. But what if the Mongols had never conquered Baghdad? What if the city had withstood Hulagu Khan's siege, repelling the Mongol invaders and preserving its status as the glittering heart of the Islamic world? Let us delve into the realm of alternate history and explore the tantalizing possibilities of a world where Baghdad remained unconquered. Imagine a Baghdad that continued to thrive as a center of learning and commerce, a beacon of knowledge that illuminated the world. Without the devastating Mongol conquest, Baghdad's libraries and universities might have continued to flourish, preserving invaluable texts and fostering generations of scholars, scientists, and thinkers. The House of Wisdom, spared from destruction, could have continued its pursuit of knowledge, perhaps even ushering in a new golden age of Islamic science and philosophy. The survival of Baghdad could have had far-reaching implications for the Islamic world and its relationship with the West. A powerful and united Abbasid Caliphate centered in Baghdad might have served as a bulwark against future invasions, preventing the rise of regional powers and maintaining stability across a vast swathe of territory. The intellectual and cultural exchange between the Islamic world and Europe, already well established by the 13th century, could have continued uninterrupted, potentially leading to a more fruitful and harmonious relationship between these two great civilizations. Perhaps the Renaissance, sparked by the rediscovery of classical knowledge, might have occurred earlier and with even greater intensity, fueled by a continuous flow of ideas and innovations from the East. The uninterrupted preservation and expansion of knowledge in Baghdad could have led to advancements in various fields such as astronomy, medicine, mathematics and engineering, potentially accelerating technological progress worldwide. The thriving trade routes through Baghdad would have continued to facilitate the exchange of goods, ideas and cultures, fostering a more interconnected and prosperous world. In this alternate history, Baghdad's resilience could have inspired other cities to fortify themselves against invasions, leading to a more stable and secure medieval world. The legacy of a thriving Baghdad might have influenced the development of educational institutions across the globe, setting a precedent for the importance of knowledge and learning in society. Ultimately, the continued prosperity of Baghdad could have ushered in a new golden age, not just for the Islamic world, but for humanity as a whole, shaping a future where knowledge, culture and progress flourished in harmony. Thank you for watching Learning Life Content. Please like, share, comment and subscribe. Your support helps us grow and motivates us to bring you more fascinating and enriching stories.